Hey guys, finally back with another video. It's been forever since I've done a video, but I'm back and going to be hopefully trying to be more consistent. I think I might just basically just tell you what's been happening with myself, and then I'll dive straight into answering a few questions which were asked some time ago now. But yeah, hopefully it'll still be of use. So basically what's happened is, for myself, I've not been hiding in a cave growing this beard. I've basically, for the past, a few weeks ago, I basically decided that my Master of Dietetics course was not really in line with my pattern or my thought process. So I'm much more, I suppose, in line with, I suppose, alternative health, or that of natural health practitioners, rather than mainstream dietetics. So I figured I may as well cut my losses there and basically pursue maybe something more along the lines of natural health, such as naturopathy, or so something like that. Which a lot of you probably don't understand what I'm talking about right now. That's okay. But basically, I do believe that the dietetic course would not have been really of further use to me, and I think I'll find something such as naturopathy much more resourceful in basically helping to better the health of others, and also provide you with the help that I'm basically giving you in these videos that I provide also. So I'll move on from that, and Rowan asked me, wanted to know about the Atkins diet. So basically, Rowan's been on the Atkins diet and he did really well on it. And was saying, I've been on the Atkins diet, I lost all this weight, and I think it was solely because I was on the Atkins diet. And I mean, yeah, a lot of these I guess what you'd call fad diets, they do seem to work, at least initially. Now, initially, I can understand straight off, almost everyone will lose some weight going on one of these diets, due to a whole bunch of different factors, dehydration, and I mean, as well as losing fat, though, you do tend to lose a fair bit of muscle, which is why I would not necessarily recommend going on something like the Atkins diet, particularly if you're doing one of these crazy diets without doing any exercise at all, because you're just going to completely eliminate all your muscle tissue. Well, you're going to put yourself in a bad spot. So what I would think, Rowan, is if it worked really well for you, and if it's been sustainable, if you've managed to keep that weight off, and you're currently quite happy with your efforts prior to, I suppose, where you are now, I would suggest that we actually take a look at metabolic typing. So I think that your metabolic type, you may be a protein type. Right? So basically, there's generally three types of different metabolic types. There's your protein type, there's a carbohydrate type, and then there's your mixed type. Obviously, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Generally, you're someone that does better on a more protein, high-fat type diet, or you're someone that does better on a high carbohydrate, low protein, low fat type diet. And mixed type is obviously somewhere in between. It's kind of generally a little bit of everything. So I would think that you, having done well on the Atkins diet, are probably more a protein type. There is actually a way that you can get this tested. It's not 100% accurate, obviously, because it is really based on questionnaires and things. But you can actually go to Macola.com and you can type in your search bar. You can type in metabolic typing, and it'll probably come up with the test. Otherwise, I'll just put a link below this video, and you can click that and do the typing test, metabolic typing test. Now, what else? Yeah, so typically, people that are from a Mediterranean background, they're going to typically be more mixed type. Generally, if you're of Anglo-Saxon type background, you're typically going to be protein type, and if you're generally Asian, or generally do better carbohydrate type. So that's generally, that's only a very, very obviously large, I suppose, generalization. So it doesn't always stand true, and you can even find that your metabolic type actually changes. It actually, your body requires different things depending on different stress states and things that you actually go through. So that's actually one thing which I think is really important, is that to recognize that your requirements, your requirements for food and for nutrients do not remain constant. They don't remain constant when it comes to exercise or pregnancy or anything like that. So why should they not change with any other stage of life? Really, we should be really cycling different ways of eating, or maybe different foods, in order to accommodate these lifestyle differences. There's when you're in a higher stress states, generally your body's going to require much more, I suppose, nutrition, more protein than, say, if you're generally carbohydrate type. If you're in a high stress state, you're probably going to require a higher protein, higher fat diet. So that's definitely something to consider. So I think when you bring it all together, and we're talking about you being successful on the Atkins diet. The only other thing really which bothers me about these types of diets is that they promote reliance not on necessarily whole foods, but reliance on a product of some sort, some shake or some, I don't know if there's ones with, there's probably ones with pills, but typically shakes. All right. I really don't like when people try to start saying you don't need to have breakfast, just have this shake. That does bother me, because it's not sustainable unless you're going to buy their shake for the rest of your life. So at the end of the day, when we look at everything, piece it all together, I think that the Atkins diet, maybe it actually helped reveal that you're a protein or a protein type. But do I agree? Do I think it's good? Would I recommend it? Not really, because really, to be quite honest, it doesn't really emphasize quality of what you're eating either. It's just going to say eat high protein, high fat. And as I've mentioned in previous or earlier videos, if you're eating very low quality, that commercial grain-fed type, animal products, you're going to be setting yourself up for basically disaster. You're really gonna set off all that inflammation in your body and bring any problems you used to have or do have, and you're going to really flare them right up, and it's not going to be nice, So I think you want to definitely try to always choose quality when you're gonna pick your animal products. Always go for grass-fed, and organic is obviously best, but grass-fed at least. And I think keep going. Primarily protein, high fat if that's working well for you. But I recommend you try this metabolic typing, which I spoke about, and I'll put that link below. I'll probably come back in a couple of days with, should be a couple of days. Hopefully I won't take another, couple of weeks to a month intermission, but a couple of days with maybe answering, I think, Matt's question. He wants to know how to get huge. So, alright, that's pretty much it for now, but talk to you next time.